We are here today with a special guest, Nicole. She has come here and bravely volunteered to get her hair colored on camera, which is going to be quite interesting because we all know that none of us really look that hot with a hot mess of hair color on our hair, but that's okay. She's going to look awesome afterwards, and you can see how beautiful she is right now. Nicole actually works in some fitness competitions. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Nicole?
I actually just completed my first fitness competition about a week ago. Fitness America pageants at Foxwoods. I'm going to continue to do those. Just have a really healthy lifestyle. Like to have a good hairstyle to go with it.
Yeah, show us a little bit of your muscles there. Embarrassed there a little bit. And Nicole actually placed really well. It was your first competition, and you placed
13 out of almost 40 girls.
Which is amazing. I mean, that's such a great placement because it's really hard. I mean, I come from a pageant background, which isn't exactly the same, but it's a similar type of stage competition. Absolutely. And you don't actually get to know your placement in those pageants unless you're in the top 10 or the top 5, which kind of sucks. So it's a good thing about the fitness competitions. Yeah. But it's amazing to get recognized and to do so well in your first one. It's a tough genre to break into, I guess. A tough type of competition to break into.
Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline.
It does.
A little food, but a lot of discipline.
What type of foods are you eating? Just in case the viewers are interested.
I am addicted to sushi right now. Thankfully, I love sushi. Just clean food.
Clean food.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good for you. So tell us about your hair care routine normally.
For a while, I looked like Gwen Stefani. I had the very super blonde hair. And then for a while, I actually went back to my normal hair color to let it get healthy because I was just destroying it with the type of hair color I was using. So now I'm ready to try something new, something that's going to look good on me and, you know, be conditioning, not dry out my hair, make it look good.
Yeah, so tell me, when you were coloring your hair platinum, were you just coloring the roots every time you were recoloring, or were you recoloring the whole thing every time?
I was recoloring the whole thing most of the time.
Yeah, so you were really killing your hair. Your hair was mad at you. Did you have to cut a lot off?
A little at a time. I couldn't let go of the length. It was very difficult.
Well, one of the colors that we're going to be working with today, or the only color we're going to be working with today, actually, is the L'Oreal Superior Preference, which is one of the more famous hair colors out on the market. It is very famous for being super fade-proof for blondes. You're supposed to get 8 weeks of non-brassy, non-fading color, which is a pretty amazing claim. It's also supposed to be great for covering grays, which I suspect you don't have any problem with.
Not yet.
You're so lucky. I never had any grays until I was pregnant, and then I got grays while I was pregnant, and now still have them, sadly. It's also got a wonderful conditioning system that actually should last you for a whole month. And, or depending on your length of hair, I guess maybe 2 weeks to a month. But it's like a nice big tube, and it should help you keep your color nice and moisturized. And we looked at a lot of colors together, Nicole and I, and one of the things Nicole told me when we first started talking about doing this product was that, or this video rather, was that she didn't like ash blonde. She knew that. And then she ended up picking an ash blonde because if you look at some other hair colors, in all honesty, you can see that the ash tones can be super, super gray. But these ash tones are actually just like a beautiful, cool blonde, which is what most blondes want. There aren't a lot of blondes that want a warm or yellowy blonde, and I think it's going to be really flattering with your skin tone. So, for those of you that have never tried at-home color before, or that have been trying it and have been doing it rather less than efficiently, let's say, to be nice, how many times have you been like in line at the grocery store or shopping somewhere and seen these women with like the chunk of hair in the back that they've clearly missed close to the roots?
The leopard spots.
The leopard spots. And it can be tricky, but honestly, if you follow these steps and don't skip any of them and do them in the right order, very, very important, I think you should be all set and it should be pretty easy. So aside from this box of color that you will need, if your hair is thicker or longer, you don't have super thick hair, right? No. If your hair is thicker or longer, you may need 2 bottles. I always need 2 bottles to color my hair. So keep that in mind. Also, curly hair tends to absorb more hair color because it's more of a dry hair texture, so you may need to, even if you don't have super long hair that's curly. You're going to need this. You're going to need a towel that you don't mind getting ruined. This is my hair dye towel. Let's see if we can find the telltale signs here. Can you see that on camera? We'll see when we edit later. So just a towel that you don't really care too much about that can be ruined. And we also need some hair clips. So hair clips are going to be used to section off your hair. and they're also going to be used to keep the towel on and to make sure that everything stays where it needs to stay. And the Superior Preference has a bottle that is the Expert Bottle, I think it's called. So you can use the tip to separate sections of your hair and get the roots pretty easily. But I always prefer to use a mixing bowl like this, and you can get something like this at a beauty supply store for like $2 or $3, and the brushes are usually anywhere from like 99 cents to $3. So I would strongly recommend using this if you wanted to get more professional results with it. But if not, I can show you how to do it without that, just with the bottle. And those are the basics. Oh, and a comb, of course. And so inside your box of hair dye, you're going to find the instructional the instructions, or the instructional paper, but that sounds kind of stupid. The instructions will be inside your box. And when you unfold the instructions, 2 really good gloves will come out. Some of these hair dyes that you can buy these days don't come with these kinds of gloves. They come with like the plastic bag gloves, you know what I'm talking about? They're so hard to work with. So if the hair dye that you like comes with those, I would strongly suggest you buy separate gloves. And then you're gonna have the developer, the cream developer, and this is the actual color, which they call the color gel. And then this is the huge tube of conditioner I was telling you about. So this will last you quite a long time, and it's gonna help preserve your color, which is awesome. So we are starting off by just combing through or brushing through Nicole's hair. We wanna make sure that there aren't any knots before we separate it. And we are going to section off the hair to make it more manageable. And it's also going to help you sort of know what sort of timeline you have. Particularly if you're going lighter, you do want to be conscious of the time. Like, you don't want to spend, say, 20 minutes applying it to one section of your hair, because then this section's obviously going to be much lighter than the rest of your hair, even if you let it sit on the rest of your hair. And you're also going to damage your hair more by leaving the hair color in for too long. So if you properly map out the sections, it's going to help you get through it much quicker. So I'm just going to start actually by using her natural hairline, the hairline that she normally, the part line that she normally uses, which I'm guessing is right about there. Feels right? Okay. And so we're just going to take a section from above the ear, just like this wide, and we're just going to twist it up and clip it. Doesn't have to be fancy or anything like that. Your hair's so long and silky. I'm used to feeling like blonde's hair that is like sort of overly processed and super, super dry. So good for you. See, shampooing is a big killer of hair, man. You should give yourself a pat on the back. If you over shampoo, you really do. You hurt your hair so much. I see so many girls that think that their hair won't get clean if they don't completely shampoo from root to ends, but the ends never get any of those oils, which is what you're cleaning off of your hair most of the time. So you really want to leave it. Now I'm taking the crown of the hair, which you saw was this section here, and you just want to try to get it as even as possible. You can do that with your fingers or with a comb, and you just want to twist that up again. Again, it doesn't have to be fancy, we're just getting it pulled away. And then again from the top of the ear, that third section here. And you could do the back in one section, but just to make sure that we get no stripes, I'm going to do the back in 2 sections. So the back of the hair is just this remaining portion here. So now I'm just taking it and splitting it right in the middle. I know my hands are a little cold, Nicole, I'm sorry. It's okay. And we're just going to pop it up. And I think we can just probably leave that last one down because it's not going to be bothering us. Now what you don't want to do is mix up your hair color first and then brush out your hair and then try to section it off. Oh, and I forgot to find my towel. All these things are going to make your hair color less active. It's not going to work as well, so you always want to make sure to mix up your hair color last. So now we're just going to take our towel and we're going to pin it with one of these handy dandy clips so that we don't ruin Nicole's outfit.
I picked it out just for you, just in case.
Oh, she's like, I didn't know if Diana was sloppy, so I picked out the right one. That's good. I'm also wearing an outfit that could be ruined. So I'm starting with the developer, which is the cream, and we're just going to dump it into a bowl. You can use any bowl. Normally I just use a plastic bowl. Because I was doing a video, I went out and bought a professional one. Normally I just use like a regular plastic bowl, but I wanted it to look nicer, so. And you want to make sure to get all the product out. We're going to mix in the color. Now, if you're going to be mixing this in the bottle, the steps are pretty simple. You just want to break off the top first, pour the gel right into the bottle, and then shake gently. I'm just going to be using this hair applicator brush to mix the color together. Okay, so we're going to start in the front section of the hair. We're going to start right over here. And actually, we'll start over here just to make it easier. And we're going to start by applying this hair color to any darkness at the root. And we're just going to pull. That's why it's important to get the sections even. So that one I noticed wasn't even, so we're just going to correct it quickly. There we go. And again, you can just take a quick brush through because any tangles will prevent the hair color from kind of going through smoothly. And we're just going to start right at the root, which is where we need most of our lightening. And then, got a little blob there, but that's no problem. Then we can just use the back of our tool here to lift up the next section, or you can use the bottle tip. You can just sort of flip it over and repaint right at the roots. So we will just speed up through this section.
So just to recap, we are using our hair applicator brush or bottle or even the back of a comb, the tail end of a comb, to separate the hair into thin, straight strips and use the brush or the bottle to apply the hair dye directly to the root. And I recommend applying it to both the front and back of this strip of hair like you see here.
It is quite easy to apply, especially when you're just focusing at the roots. And if you started off by applying it to the roots like I am right here, you are going to get a very even hair color, which is very important. And tell us a little bit about your workout schedule, because I think the camera was off last time we were talking about that.
I work out 6 days a week, one of which is cardio only. Thank goodness for that. Different body parts every day, so I don't overwork anything, and basically working out to fatigue. Workouts are about 30 minutes a piece plus cardio, and that all depends upon how close I am to a show.
And how heavy are the weights you're lifting? Like, let's say you were working on arms, which probably is very general because you probably work on different parts of the arms.
Like shoulder press I'll use 20-pound dumbbells. Just because I'm doing higher reps, I need to be able to lift it more times. So yeah, it really does just depend on how strong I get and which workout I'm doing.
And you would say that lighter weight and more reps is better?
Well, it depends on what your goals are. Like for toning, I'm toning and building muscle really kind of at the same time. So I'm doing the heaviest weight I can for 10 reps or 15 reps. So if I can get through with no problem, then I need to step it up a bit.
I see.
That's how I gauge my strength and my work.
So this bit at the nape of the neck is the telltale bit, particularly when you pull up your hair in a ponytail. So you probably want to take a little bit of extra hair dye at this point and flip the hair straight up like I'm pulling it right here. And sorry that we aren't doing more than one angle, but we just don't have a cameraman, unfortunately. Next time we'll have to do that. And I'm just really brushing it in really well. And then what I'm going to do, once I get all the hair color off the brush, I'm just going to make sure that it's completely pulled through, which we're also going to do later once we pull the hair color through all of the hair. But we just want to make sure that right from the get-go, this hair that tends to be darker back here, because it doesn't see the sun as much also, you have to keep that into consideration, that it's completely saturated. And it is. So now we've got all the roots. I can see the color is already developing a little bit. And now we're going to start in those same sections and get all of the hair saturated. And you are going to want to use your comb to help spread the color as well. And if you do it one section at a time, you're not gonna have any problem with any sort of leopard print, like, is that what you said before? Zebra stripes or leopard print. You're not gonna have any problem with that if you do it one section at a time. But if you try to do large clumps, number one, you're probably gonna waste a lot of the hair color, and it's gonna be messier too. And number two, it's definitely not going to end up even. So now we are just pulling the hair color right through to the ends. We're just about finished here actually. There's just one section in the back left. And as you're pulling it through, you just want to make sure that there are no dry spots at all. You want to make sure that you're pulling the hair color completely through to the ends, and definitely using a little bit of a wiggling action with your fingers as you do this. And you don't have to do it with the bowl and the brush, like I said, but you definitely want to use a comb to help you out if you don't have the brush. And you can just use the bottle and sort of apply with the bottle and wiggle and pull through. And based on all the hair dye that I've been splattering everywhere, I probably would have been better off using the bottle, but it's a more precise application this way. So we just want to make sure that everything is beautiful and perfectly even.
So just to finish up, all you want to do is make sure that all of the hair is saturated, that there are no dry spots, and you can use your comb, the bottle applicator, or a brush applicator to help make sure that the hair is perfectly and evenly coated. And by taking it in small sections, it's definitely going to make sure that you get an even coating.
So here we are, all washed and dried. I'm totally going to zoom in. I'm just going to fix Nicole's bangs quickly. But one of the things that Nicole complained about, oh, there's a baby. One of the things Nicole complained about when she first came was that her highlights felt, you know, kind of a little bit unnatural maybe because they had the super dark root, well not super dark, but the darker root, and she felt like her hairdresser wasn't getting close enough to the root. Is that what you felt? Yeah. Basically. So the great thing about this color, which the color was, I would totally recommend this to like any blonde. The light ash blonde color by L'Oreal Preference literally like took her highlights, they freshened her highlights, but gave them a cool touch so that they don't look freshened but yellow, which is pretty amazing. And then it lightened up her roots without destroying her highlights. So she has like this super multi-dimensional, even hair color right now, without ever having to paint on highlights. The other thing is, feel your hair from me, Nicole. Do you feel like it feels damaged at all?
No.
It feels really soft, right?
Yeah.
Really silky. And we even put that root lifting product, so I'm going to get some hairspray. But the root lifting product would, you know, like kind of roughen up the hair texture at the root a little bit. But it's just like amazing how soft it feels, especially for, you know, a blonde color. Overall, how was the experience? Was it comfortable? Was there any stinging or burning, anything that people need to know about?
No. No, I think overall it went very well.
Good.
You didn't pull too much.
Okay, that's good. It was hard too because we got to the end and there was just enough hair color. It would have been a little bit easier if we had more. So I would recommend, even if your hair isn't too thick, definitely 2 for shoulder length, which normally I wouldn't have thought that, but I would recommend that. But we were able to pull it straight down. There is no, there's no telltale patch in the back, and it just blends really beautifully. I love it. So thank you so much, Nicole, for taking, it was quite a bit of time because when you explain it, it also takes a little bit longer, obviously, but for taking time out of your day, and I hope you feel confident and beautiful with the beautiful Preference L'Oreal Blonde.
I do.
And basically, if you just wanted to redo this, all you would have to do is touch up your roots. And then, like, if you love this color, I'll even rip off. This is a good tip.
Yes. Keep
the lid in your bathroom drawer, and it's done. All you would have to do is touch up the roots for 20 minutes and then run it through your hair for 5. And you'd be done. And that's like a quarter of the damage that you would normally get if you keep recoloring it. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys all again soon in the next video. Bye for now. Hi guys, Nicole just left. I just wanted to double back and just go over a few things about the L'Oreal Preference hair color. I just want to say this isn't a sponsored video or anything, but the products were sent to me by L'Oreal. And I just think that this light ash blonde really turned out so beautifully. When you put the hair color on, you're going to notice that it's quite an orangey color. It's sort of, not orangey, but it looks like the hair is going to turn out reddish. But it doesn't. It rinses out completely in a different shade. So I don't want you to be alarmed if that happens to you and like rinse it out too quickly. But I basically just worked this color into her hair section by section. And it really did turn out so beautifully. It freshened her natural highlights and her salon highlights. and then it just really blended out her root that was a bit more of a dark blonde, and it turned it into the soft, the light ash blonde. So it was just really, really a beautiful overall hair color. She seemed very, very pleased with it. I thought it was stunning. So she showed up and she was already this really beautiful girl, but she left and I think she was even more stunning with that beautiful, just like it looked so effortlessly natural. It just looked glamorous but very effortless, and I think that that's a really great mix of things. One of my light bulbs is going crazy. So I had a wonderful experience working with Nicole. Tomorrow I'm going to be shooting another one of these hair videos, and I hope if you decide to color your hair at home, it will make the steps a lot easier for you. So I'll speak to you guys all again soon. Bye for now, loves. Do you shampoo your whole hair, or do you just shampoo the root?
I just do my scalp and let it run down.
Ah, you're a smart girl. Impressive hair knowledge, Nicole. Very good.